Hello, everyone. This is another episode of Open Book. I am Billy Price, co founder of Billy Footwear. And like many open books, I usually start off by saying I love Open Book because Open Book gives us the opportunity to meet just amazing people. It allows us to share a little bit about our brand, share a bit about our journey of how we got here, and also just amazing collaborations. So today, I am so honored. We have Paula. She's the executive director at Little Bit, and we're going to be learning all about Little Bit in this conversation. But Paula, welcome to Open Book.
Thank you, Billy. It's nice to be here and to share with your listeners.
So there's so many things I want to ask you. For those out there, just a little preface here. So Little Bit, it's a therapeutic horse riding organization. And Paula, could you tell us a little bit about Little Bit?
Sure. Little Bit Therapeutic Riding Center has been in operation in Western Washington for 48 years. We have a long, rich tradition and history here in Western Washington. We are the largest center in Washington State, and by our budget size, we're one of the top 5 centers in the country. So we've got really strong program that's been around for a long time. We provide equine assisted services to people with disabilities. And our 2 main programs, one is our hippotherapy program, which is a licensed medical treatment where a patient will come in and work with a licensed physical therapist, occupational therapist, or speech and language pathologist. And sometimes in conjunction with each other, more than one therapist at a time. And then our adaptive riding program is aimed at people who are interested in increasing their horseback riding skills. So it's more of a group session. The one-on-one therapy session is with a therapist and support people. The adaptive riding is in a like a classroom setting with multiple horses and individuals. So there are a lot of benefits to each of those programs.
So, that is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love everything about that. And I would imagine it probably takes a bit of a village to run the whole operation. How big is your team?
Oh, that's a great question. We have 66 staff members, and the 2-legged ones. We have not all those are full-time. We have about a third of our staff are full-times or FTEs. We have 32 4-legged staff members, our horses. And we also, in addition to that, we have over 1,200 volunteers on our roster, and we depend on 200 to 250 volunteers each week to help us deliver our services.
Oh my goodness. How big of a space do you need to accommodate that large of an operation?
We are on 14 acres. We have a couple different indoor arenas and an outdoor arena and a small covered space. So we're on quite a large property. We have riding trails around the property as well. So we have also an indoor therapy gym that is used with our therapy patients. So quite a large facility and site here.
Man, I would imagine to be one of the 4-legged staff members, there has to be a fair amount of criteria that the horse needs to actually meet. Can you talk about kind of that journey of vetting a horse that would qualify to be a part of the program?
Sure, that's great. We look for horses that are around middle age. There really aren't a lot of trained therapy horses out there on the market. So we're looking for those characteristics. We're looking for horses sort of middle aged, in the 10, 15, 17 year range. That most of them will have gotten their yayas out by that time. We're looking for horses that have really good ground manners, that are non-reactive, because we have very special people on their back. So we have to make sure that they are as safe as they can be. So when we're looking to fill a certain need in the herd, our staff, when we have several people on our equine department who are always looking for horses, and they'll see a horse that may be available. They will look at all the videos and talk to the owner. Then they'll go out and they actually spend some time riding the horse, watching the owner ride the horse and then ride the horse. And then they do all kinds of things. They check it for its reactivity. They'll throw balls and use hula hoops and do all kinds of things, noise makers, around the horse to see how they react. And then if they pass all those tests, then they are often, then we will, work with the owner to see whether they want to sell the horse, whether they're looking for to care lease a horse with us. Every once in a while we get a donated horse, but not very often. And that takes some negotiation. And then we have a vet check done. So we are also looking for horses that are sound and don't have a lot of complex medical needs, because with a herd of 32, it would be really challenging for us to have to manage complex medical needs. And once all that happens, if the horse works out, then they come in for a trial period in our program where all of the instructors and the therapists ride the horse to get a feel for the movement, because it's really about the movement of the horse that helps the individuals on their back. So, and then also in our unmounted program, which I haven't mentioned yet. So everyone will ride them and then decide whether this horse meets that need in the herd. And then we have a group of people that will vote on the horse to bring the horse into the herd and make the arrangements with the staff members that are the owners. That trial period can take up to 6 weeks. So oftentimes owners, it's challenging for someone who wants to sell a horse to have it out there on the market for 6 weeks. But we really need that time to make sure the horse is going to work in our program, because we expect a lot out of the horses. They have a really important and difficult job to do. And so we need to make sure that we're making good decisions when it comes to our horses. And then when it comes to like the breeds and the sizes, and we have larger sort of draft horses that help with our larger, maybe older riders. And then we have about a third of our herd are Norwegian fjord horses. And those horses are like shorter in stature. They're a little more stout. They can hold riders for both of our adaptive program and our therapy program. They were bred for pulling wagons and carts. And one of our staff persons told me that they were bred to take drunk Norwegians home from the bar. But I don't know whether that's true or not. We don't have many of those around here. But they also they have really good ground manners, and we say that they're stoic. So they, horses and humans have this wonderful bond, and the horses will often, absorb all of the energy from the person on their back. And sometimes might be reactive, or they feel it in different parts of their bodies. And the Norwegian fjords are sort of stoic. They take all of that in, and they don't really display it either in their emotions or in their physical well-being. So we really like Norwegian fjord horses, but we have other horses, and it kind of depends on the size and the movement of what we're looking for to round out our herd.
Well, I mean, just that selection criteria to go through all those steps. I mean, there's a lot of steps. I mean, one, like, kudos for you to be able to go through all that. And it definitely is a testament to the quality of horses being a part of the program. But man, talk about having a huge sample size and have to keep weaning it down to get to those final horses that actually make the cut. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's a challenge. And then once they have made the cut, and once they come on, and when I mentioned about having people that are unbalanced, often put pressure on different parts of the backs. So, but to counteract that, to help our horses, we have really great care. We take, we pride ourselves on the care we take of our horses. But they will get chiropractic treatments. They'll get massage. They get they get really great vet care and really great farrier care. So all of those things to keep them active in our service as long as possible and keep them happy because they have a difficult job to do.
To be honest, I have a very interesting picture in my head right now of performing chiropractor moves on a horse.
You should Google some of the YouTube videos. It's fascinating.
Yeah, those two words never entered the same sentence in my head before. So the picture in my head is very interesting.
For sure.
I think this is a great time to be able to for the listeners and the viewers to share some information on how to find you guys. I mean, because what you guys are doing is absolutely incredible and obviously making a big impact. So up on the screen, we have their Instagram channel. Their Instagram handle is at littlebit_TRC. And then their website is littlebit.org. So www.littlebit.org. Now, Paula, I mean, this is fantastic in folks that live kind of in the greater Seattle area. And I know we have a lot of listeners and probably viewers as well that are going to be interested about possible like horse programs, like therapeutic centers in their local area. What would you recommend for those that are in different states or like countries or like whatever? Like what would be the best way for that individual to try to get connected?
Yeah, thank you. We are certified as a premier center with an organization called PATH International, which is the Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship. And that organization certifies organizations like ours all throughout the country and in different places in the world as well. And so people can go to their website, which you've got displayed, and you can look, so you can search for Find a Center, and the centers that are in your area will be displayed there. And there are many premier centers around the country like ours. And what that means is, I mean, there's some that are member centers and some that are premier centers. And what the premier centers offer is that we go through an additional level of process to assure that we are operating at the highest degree of safety and professionalism that there could be in our business. And member centers go through that process as well. So that's really important for people to know that there are other people who hang out a shingle and say they provide therapeutic riding, but if people really want to make sure that the operation is safe and operating in a professional manner, they should go to a PATH International Center. Okay.
Well, that's great. That's great insight. And for those that are watching, you can see the link up there on the screen. But for those listening in, the website that was being referred to is pathinternational.org. So it's pathinTL.org. So that's a great place to go. Boy, Paula, I mean, there's so many questions I still have for you. I mean, one is just curiosity. How did you personally get connected with horses?
Oh, I was a crazy horse girl when I was a kid. So that happened when I was about 5 or 6, and I rode my horse the first time and begged for one every day, an hour of my life for years after that. And so I rode it well into my 20s. But I'm a nonprofit manager by trade, so I was lucky when the worlds collide, and they did when I came to Little Bit, and I've been here for 7 years.
Oh man, that's so awesome. And that kind of ties into the next question where, I mean, you've had so many folks come through Little Bit and you've been able to see so many incredible transformations and stories of, just strength, like seeing individuals be able to like have an emotional connection, having, increase in strength and possibly mobility. And I mean, just everything like quality of life. With all of those stories, is there like one in particular that you could share?
Oh, you're making that tough. Yeah, we worked with over close to 500 individuals last year, and so for every year that happens. I think there's one that that touched my heart at the very beginning when I first started at Little Bit, and it was a family whose son was born with cerebral palsy, and they realized that they'd heard about us and wanted him to come to our services and put him on the wait list when he was 1, because the youngest age it takes in our therapy program is 2. So for riding, we do offer some unmounted programming even for kiddos that are younger than 2. But for riding, you have to be 2 and have some of that core strength, some of that ability. So Jacob is his name, and he. When I met with his mom, she said when he first came in and was on the horse, he was her youngest and hadn't really been away from his mom at all until he got put on the back of a horse. And he went around in circles in the arena and cried for most of the first couple sessions. But the therapist worked with him, and he had a team around him of individuals, volunteers, and staff who were kept together. We really try to keep the support team around each one of our participants, our riders, and our patients. So over time, he got used to all of that and quit crying, and then he became so much more active, where he could ride forward, facing forward, and then sometimes the therapist would have him ride facing backwards, because that activates different muscles than those, and also you anticipate a lot when you're riding forward, so that increased some of the muscles and got some muscles activated that don't normally get activated. And then he would sit sideways and move all around on the horse, and just felt so comfortable. And then watching him, he had started to walk, but actually became way more mobile after he started our services. And he like others in our service have go to other therapy sessions or other programs. So they often have lots of different types of programs set up for them. And his other therapists wonder, what are you doing to make such a difference in him? So oftentimes we'll hear that from other physical therapists or occupational therapists, that what's happening a little bit is helping them more than even what they're able to accomplish. So he became, we could see him running after a few years. He just increases mobility so much, and he always had a gigantic smile on his face. So he is one of my favorite stories to share, and his family is just wonderful. And I believe on our website, if you look at the blog posts, I think the video of his story is shared there, and so many others, adults and children as well, who we've been able to help through the years.
Oh, good. Wow. Well, let me. That's a great segue. Let me put the website back up. So everyone out there, yeah. So littlebit.org, littlebit.org, and then on Instagram, it's at littlebit_TRC. Wow. Paula, wow. Thank you so much for your time. I want to be respectful of your time, but I did want to give you the mic one more time. I mean, I think I know with horse, like these therapeutic centers, it seems like there can be a waiting list, but it sounds like that's not always the case. I mean, how are things at Little Bit?
So we do have some openings, which we'd love to fill. So we have openings in our therapy program and our adaptive riding program as well. So oftentimes people will hear that we have these long wait lists, and it's some if you're waiting for 9 o'clock on Saturday, you might have a long wait, but we do have openings, particularly during school hours. We have more openings. After school is always a really popular time, but we do have openings during school hours, in both of our major programs. So we would love anyone who's interested to be in contact with us.
Wow. Okay, good. Good. Well, then again, let me show the website once more. So those local in the Seattle area in Washington State, check out littlebit.org. And for those outside of Washington State, check it out. I mean, horseback riding has always been something I've been intrigued in. I haven't been able to go and do it. So I'm so happy that we're connected, Paula. I mean, this is exciting. But for those out there that are outside the Washington State area, check this out. I mean, go to pathinternational.org, and hopefully there's a riding facility or a program that's near to you. Paula, thank you so much again for your time. This was a ton of fun. I certainly appreciate you jumping on for an open book session with me. Everyone else out there, this was another episode of Open Book. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll have another one again real soon. So until then, take care.
Thank you.